another episode of Talk About It Thursday. I just wanted to come and check in, share my thoughts on what's going on right now in America, and just be transparent as I can about my own feelings and my own thoughts and just what I've learned here recently. So as y'all can tell, I don't have on any makeup. Don't know how this video is gonna go as far as my own emotions. I've actually tried to record it a few different times, and well, hopefully this is the last one. So let's start with everything's happening. Last Monday, we all witnessed the murder of George Floyd. And since then, I've been reeling, trying to make sense of it, trying to understand how, not make sense of his death because there's no justifying or making sense of that, but just how is this America? How is this happening in this country in 2020? What can be done so that it doesn't happen anymore? So it's really a hard time for so many people. And I didn't want to get up here and just do any kind of video. I want my impact to mean something. I want my content to mean something. I want my life to mean something. And okay, so 8 minutes and 46 seconds is how long that those officers were on him. They were probably on him longer than that, actually. But that was murder. And I see different people trying to justify different things. But let's be clear. Even if that man did something wrong, it is not the police's job to be the judge and jury. We are all supposed to have our day in court. That is not the police's job to, they're not hired. They're supposed to serve and protect. They're not supposed to be out here taking lives. So, yeah. When I saw the video, I thought about all of the black men that I know, and I was devastated. I have sons that are going to grow up to be black men. Right now, they're 7 and 9, and they're at that age where they're still so cute, and, people are so nice to them. People aren't, worried, terrified of them or clutching their purse or, different things. But I know the world that my children are in right now. Matter of fact, I had a talk with my 9-year-old about it, like just checking in with him, seeing what he knows about what's happening, because my 9-year-old Cam, he doesn't look 9, he looks older than that. So for him, I'm worried about both of my kids, to be honest, but I have more concern when it comes to Cameron right now, specifically only because he does not look like a 9-year-old. So many people always think he's so much older than he really is, but he's only 9. So I have to have so many difficult conversations with him that I shouldn't even have to have with my 9-year-old in 2020, because he should be able to understand and know, like, the cops are going to treat him fairly, and he should be able to call them when he needs them, if he needs them. And my 9-year-old doesn't even feel safe. We were talking about 911 the other day, and I was like, do you know what to do if there's an emergency? Both my kids were like, call 911. My 9-year-old, however, was like, I don't even want to call 911 if the police are going to come. He's 9. He should not have to fear if he is going to live, if he needs to contact the police. And that is a problem. It's a problem because I don't know what to say to my 9-year-old Because at this point, yeah, there are great police officers out there. Not everyone is bad. Not everyone is abusing their power. Not police brutality isn't, everyone's not doing it. But so many times it's justified. There are so many names that lives have been taken at the hands of police. And justice wasn't served. What really is justice? When we say justice, what are we looking for? Because, yes, I want all of these officers that were involved to go to prison. But this should have never happened. This should have never been able to happen. And when I look at that video, I think, like, why didn't one of the officers stop it? One of the officers push him out the way. Like, why was that not a thought process? I understand the citizens standing by, because if they would have jumped in, who knows what in the world would have happened. But none of the officers stopped it. None of the officers... I'm trying so hard not to really get into the details of that video, because when I see it, and I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, guys. I'm trying to get my thoughts in my head the way, to come out. But when I was looking at it, I saw the people that I love. I saw my dad, both of my dads. I saw my brothers. I saw my kids. I saw my pastor. There's so many black men that I love. And when I look at that, I see them. When I think about Breonna Taylor, I think about my best friend. I think about my friends. I think about myself. How that could have easily been one of us. Because it's not just black men. Yes, George Floyd is that is very tragic, and it's erupting so many different things and so many different conversations. But George Floyd is not the first black person to be his life to be taken at the hands of police. Now, this was tragic and graphic, but it's been so many others. And for instance, Breonna Taylor, we still need justice for her. And when I think about that, and Sandra Bland and so many other people, and my heart aches, because we shouldn't have to be afraid to leave our house. But what can we do? Because if we're in our house, a police officer can come in, mistake our apartment for their apartment, and shoot and kill us. A police officer can come and shoot us while we're in our bed. Our children can't go outside and play with guns. These are real things that are happening, have happened in America. And there are still people who don't get it. There are still people who justify. There are still people who think, oh, racism's not real, or, it's okay, or they were doing something wrong. Tamir Rice was 12 years old. Like I said, I have a 9-year-old. He's going to be 10 soon. The little boy was playing at the park with a toy gun, and he was killed. Where's the justification in that? Where's the justification? And my kids want to play with guns outside, not real guns, of course, like Nerf guns, water guns. I'm terrified to let my children play with guns outside. Terrified. I won't even let them do it. I finally broke down and let them play with things in the house. But I don't even want my kids playing with a water gun outside. A water gun. So to say it's not real, to say, we're just out here, we're not letting go of the past. That's not the past. That's right now. That's how I'm choosing to raise my children. Because I'm afraid for their life. I have to protect them at all costs, any way that I can. But the sad thing is, we can protect, we can teach, we can put our hands up, we can say that there's a gun in the glove box, we can do all these different things, and our lives can still be taken from us. So please, what are we supposed to tell our children? How are we supposed to raise them up so that they can come home? When you send your children off, when you send your husband off, your brothers off, your sisters off, your wives off, when I see police lights, when I see a police car, I start shaking. When I see police lights, I start to cry. And the thought is like, okay, thank God I haven't been stopped in so long. But the thought is in your head, it's like, what do I do? We have to record everything, and even when we record things, justice isn't immediately served. It took days for this first officer who killed this man to even be in custody. And the response was, oh, we have to look at the evidence. We have to do this and do that. And just, I think last night or sometime yesterday, the other officers were finally charged. When we look at Ahmaud Arbery, he was jogging. Those 2 men, 3 men, I think it was 2, and then the other one was recording. But those men were not police officers. They gunned him down in the street like he was an animal, and that is the problem. Why do people think because of the color of our skin, we are less than? That I don't understand. Now, one of my friends told me, Trump being in office and how he is being himself and handling these things is what the world kind of needed. In a way, everything is, even though it's terrible things happening, I see change. I see people coming together. I see people not just looking for leaders, but being the leaders that they feel that the Black community needs. I see people of all races coming together and protesting and marching and not being silent. I see people asking questions and trying to get an understanding of their own biases and how maybe they have been exhibiting racism in their own lives and situations. I see those things happening. So even though it's dark, there's always darkness before the dawn. And my hope and my prayer is that we come together and we are proactive and we think of ways to make this a better day for our children. One of my friends doesn't have kids yet. And my prayer and my hope for her when she does have children is she doesn't have to raise her children. We don't have to raise our children in a society where we have to teach them to be afraid of the police, where police aren't called on us just because they can be. It's so many things that are happening and going on. And all I can say is we can make the change. We can be the change that we want to see. There are a lot of people out here that are racist. There are a lot of people out here who are, negative and think bad. But there are so many people who aren't. There's so many people who stand shoulder to shoulder, stand in front of us, protect us. So I don't know how to make the change. I don't know exactly what I need to do. I'm signing petitions. I'm speaking out. I'm trying to do what I can do, but it still feels like there's so much more to do. I'm doing research, so everything that I find, I will leave in the description about different organizations you can donate to and different things you can. But let's be active in our communities. Let's not just let this be a week thing or a 2-week thing. Let this be a lifestyle where we are doing the things, doing the work on the ground level that we need to do to make the changes. Go vote. Don't feel like your vote doesn't matter. Don't feel like your vote doesn't count. Go vote, speak up, local and higher up. We need to make changes. We need to do our part. It's time to stop complaining about what is wrong and do what we can to fix it. Whether that's helping someone get through school that can become a lawyer or, encouraging someone to be a police officer. Whatever we can do, let's do those things. I am hopeful. Although my heart is hurting and it's so heavy, I'm still hopeful. And my hope is in God because I know that even though we don't know, we don't see, all things work together for our good. And even though it's a hard time right now, we will get through. So to everyone hurting, I'm praying for you all. And I just pray and I hope that you all find the strength that you need. Lay your burdens down And let's get active. Let's do what we can. Let's do our part. Let's change this country for the better, so that our children and our children's children and our children's children don't have to go through what we are going through and living through. I love you all. Love and light to you all. Rest in peace to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, Sean Bell, Mike Brown. So many people. I'm Sandra Bland. I'm just naming the people that I'm thinking of right away. But it's so many people. And I'm going to leave names. I'm going to do different things. So I just wanted to share my thoughts, guys. And I love you all so much. Thank you so much for the support. And let's really have an open conversation in the comments about how we're feeling and what we all are doing during this time and how we plan to proceed in the future. I hope you all have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Spread love, not hate. Bye, guys.